Hey, this is Andrew Brown from Exam Pro, and we're going to be looking at the Terraform remote state. Maybe not remote because that might be too much work to set up, but we'll definitely look at local here. So what I'm going to do is go on the left-hand side here and then just find my folder that I've created there. And I guess I have backends there, so I'm going to need a new folder. I feel like I should have all the folders here somewhere. Yes, I do. And we're just going to make a new one here. And we're just going to call it 131 backends Terraform remote state. And then within this, we're going to have two projects. So project 1. And then we're going to have project 2. Okay, and we're not going to treat these as submodules. They'll both be root modules, meaning like we're not going to have a main in here. So we're just going to go and make a main here, main.tf. And then we're going to add another one here, main.tf. And so what I want to do is provision something in one place and then access it somewhere else. So I think this is a good time to go and grab, I have some things open here. Would be a good time to go and grab Anton's AWS module there. So let's say AWS VPC module. And we'll just expand this a little bit here. And so I just want to go ahead and grab that. And we'll make that project 1. Okay. So this looks fine. I want to do US East though. We'll just say my Terraform VPC, so we don't forget what it is. I'm going to do a US East 2 just in case I have one hanging around US East 1 that I didn't delete, because I might have it from something else. And I mean, this doesn't necessarily need us to specify the provider because it should get pulled in from this module here. And so I'm just going to navigate to that folder. 131 is what I've called it. And we want to go to project 1 here. And we'll do a Terraform init. Just wait a little while there. What I'm just curious about are the outputs to this. So there are a bunch of outputs here. And I'm just looking for the VPC ID. Okay, so that initialized there. And so I do want to output that value, outputs. I cannot remember, so I'm just going to go look at another project and see how we do our outputs. Main TF here. Yeah, it's just output like that. Back to our project here. And this one is called VPC. And we can specify our provider if we want. It's going to use the default anyway, but we might as well be explicit here. And just be explicit about the region. So we'll do region US East 1. And it's got to be double quotations here. And we'll do profile equals default. Okay. And then we'll go down below and we'll do a Terraform apply. And we'll see if that takes. We'll type in yes. And so that looks like it's going to work. While that is running, hopefully it doesn't break along the way, but we'll go set up our other main.tf. And so we just want a basic project. I think we've been pulling from the same one, which is counts, all the way at the top here. Or maybe we could pull into the standard backend, might be a bit easier. Yeah, let's use this one. And all I want is this here, the Apache module that we created. So we'll go down below and we will jump back into our project 2 here. And we will paste that in there. And notice that we just have an error down below. Can only create the following A, B, C. So there's a minor error there. USD's 2, 2, 2. Oh, it's because I set this as 1 up here. We're going to do 2 here, okay? We'll just say auto approve. We'll go back to this project here. And so what I want to do is specify a data source. And this is going to be that Terraform remote state. And we'll call this VPC. And we're going to set it to the backend here. Saying, oh, we want it to be local. And then we need to set the config path. This is going to be where the actual file is located. So I think that we could probably get away with doing this. There. Okay. And so then down below here, I should be able to do data dot VPC ID. This is going to need a configuration file or TFRs there. So I'm going to go here and just go terraform.tfrs. And I'm going to go up to our previous project where we might have defined that here. But there's one minor difference here, and that is that we are not specifying the CIDR, or sorry, we're not specifying the VPC ID here. Okay. So we'll go down below, back to this file. And we're just waiting for that VPC to be created. It's creating a NAT gateway. Uh-oh. I don't think I want that. NAT gateways cost money. I mean, like, it's not a big deal. We can just rip it out. But I think what I would have done here is not had either of these. I would have just said false and false. So we're going to have to wait for that to finish to create. This is going to take forever. If you've watched up to this point, you know, save yourself some trouble and just remove that out. Oh, yeah, so just finished. Nope, it's still going. So I'll see you back here in a bit, okay? The problem is it's creating NAT gateways in all the VPCs, and there's a lot, so I'll be back in a bit. All right, so we didn't have to wait that long, but what I'm going to do is just do false and false on this, and I'm going to go and do Terraform apply auto approve here. Or actually, I'm going to just do Terraform apply because I don't know if it's going to just tear down those resources or actually replace the VPC. If the VPC doesn't get replaced, then we can move on to the other part of this. So I'm just going to go to the top here because I'm really curious about the VPC. So the NAT will be destroyed, the NAT will be destroyed, the gateway will be changed, the route tables will be changed, but the VPC ID is not going to change, so we can just say yes. Okay. And what I'll do here is while this is going, we can go figure out project 2. So I'm just going to open up a new terminal here, or window, whatever you want to call it, shell. And once that's loaded, I'm just going to CD into that. I believe it's 31 we're on right now. 131. Again, the numbers might change depending on if I change them after the fact. So we sourced our data source there. I want to go back to our project 2. And that's the TFVARS file. And so this should just work. It should take it. Except this is in the wrong project. So I'm just going to close this out. Project 2. Yeah, so this looks good. So what I'm going to do is do Terraform plan and see if this is going to take it. Oh, we got to do Terraform init first, as always. Great, so we just ran that there, and so now what we can do is do our Terraform plan. And while we're waiting on that, let's go just take a peek over at our original one here. So that one got rid of all those extra services we didn't need. And so down below it says an input variable with the name server name has not been declared. This variable can be declared with a variable server name. I thought we did define these. Yeah, it's right there. Did I name this file wrong? Terraform TFRs. No, that is correct. Oh, it's because we don't have a variables. Okay, so we just do variables TF. We'll go back up to this one here. And we'll grab all of it. And we don't need this workspaces thing. We don't need a VPC ID like that because we'll just pass it along via the data source. We don't have a bucket, so we'll just get rid of that. Okay. And we'll do Terraform plan again. And they're saying data, VPC ID has not been declared in the root module. I'm going to do Terraform init just as a sanity check there. And I'm going to go back to my main TF here and just take a look. Oh, it hasn't been defined. Did we put it in the wrong project here? Maybe I put it in the 130 here while I was doing it. Did we put it in project 1 maybe? Nope. Okay, well, wherever it's gone. Oh, no, it's right here. Okay, so then what's it talking about? Let's try this again. Terraform plan. Unless I named it wrong here. Oh, maybe what we have to do is do outputs or output. I think it's outputs on this one here. Data.vpc, so a data resource name that does not exist. Oh, you know what it is? We also have to do Terraform remote state, like that. And now it should take it. The region is required but is not set. Sure. It doesn't say for what. But I guess maybe it's just talking about the provider. Region equals US East 2, default, or profile, default. And so I'll go down here and hit up. Okay, and so if we just scroll up, it's going to take it. So let's just go provision that and see if it works. Terraform apply, auto approve. Okay. And I'll see you back here if this successfully works, okay? All right, so we've ran into a little bit of an issue here. Notice that it's giving us, saying that it's running in a different network. So the thing is, what we're doing here is we're passing our VPC ID here, which is coming from project 1. And so that should be setting this to be US East 2, right? Because we have the region set up as such. This is all right. So we'll go over here, and this is all right. So some of the security groups, all I can think of is we'd have to go back to our modules project. And if we went in here and checked out the main, because this is where we define our security group, and we specify the VPC ID here, and that is what we are passing through. So, you know, I would expect this to be using the correct subnets and things like that. but it's just not taking for some reason. So instead of worrying about that, what I'm just going to do is I'm going to go back to project 1. And I'm going to tear this down. And the only reason I didn't do this in US East 1 was because I thought I might have already had one there. So if we go over to our AWS account, and this won't be a problem for you, this is just a problem for me. But if I go over to VPC here, and we go to your VPCs, notice that I have 2, and one is called, oh, it's my Terraform VPC. And that's in North Virginia. So maybe that never provisioned where we wanted it to be, but I'll be back here in a moment. All right, so we ran into a bit of an issue here. After waiting a long time, it didn't delete, and so if this happens, there's not a lot you can do except delete the resource out manually. This is like something that's not great. Also notice that somehow I ended up one in North Virginia, and also this one has virtual private gateway. So probably what happened was I deployed in US East 1, it wasn't correct, so then I went to US East 2. And so it just made a big old mess of this. So I'll have to go here and see if I can delete it manually. And I'm just going to type in delete. And we'll see if that takes. Okay, I'll try that one more time. It's possible that it's not deleting because of all the additional resources. So I acknowledge. And I really, really want to delete this. So I'll go here and type in, oh, hold on, that's my default one. So it actually did remove it that time. What I would say is I would double check to make sure there's no virtual private gateways, because those, you do not want to leave those running. That will cost money. But these got deleted out of here. Maybe also check endpoints or NAT gateways. And so those are deleted as well. I'm going to go over back to my US East 1. And so this thing, if we go here, oh, it's all gone now. So I'm not sure why it was showing up in both. Oh, NAT gateways, that's fine. Those are gone. So we have my Terraform VPC here. And if I go down to NAT gateways, there's nothing there. And I go over to virtual private gateways. I have one set up here. And I didn't want to create one. So what I'm going to do, and I'm going to just see if I can fake it here, but I'm going to just switch this over to 1. And I'm going to do a Terraform apply refresh only. Let's see if it picks it up. And I'm going to see what it gets. So here it says, Terraform detected the following changes made outside of Terraform. That resource was deleted. So that's not really the behavior I'm looking for. I thought maybe we could kind of attach it there, but I don't think that's going to work. So what I want to do is I just want to delete this one here. And so we will go and, oh, sorry, I'm going to go delete the VPC because it might just take everything with it if we do it that way. And so let's say delete VPC. And notice it has a virtual private gateway attached. So I guess we're going to have to delete that first. And we'll go up here and detach, say yes, detach. And we'll make sure we don't have any NATs. We don't, that's good. So we'll go up to our VPC and we'll go ahead and delete this VPC and go delete. So yeah, Terraform's not always perfect. Sometimes you have to go in and delete resources, but generally it's pretty darn good. You just got to be careful what you're doing. And that's why you should always be doing Terraform plan and pushing things through a version control system like Git. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just try this again, and we're going to do this through US East 1. So I'm going to do a Terraform apply, and I should be able to do this no problem now because, well, there's nothing in my way. So, and while that's going on there, I'm going to switch this over to US East 1, and we'll say yes. And while that's going there, I'm just going to refresh. Because once we have the VPC ID, we are ready to start using it. So down below here, it says, Oh, right. So this is set up for so we'll say 1, 1, 1. We'll hit up here, and I'm just going to do a sanity check and make sure there's nothing in my other region here. Okay, good. We'll go back to North Virginia here. And we already have the VPC ID, so because we have that, it looks like it might produce a new one though. 009. No, it's the same one, I think. But what I'll do is I'll go back to project 2, which is referencing this state here, and we'll go back to our second one here, and we'll just do a Terraform init, because we did change the region here, so it might want to do something. We'll do a Terraform plan. I don't think we ran into an issue with the plan last time. Okay, that's all updated there. Okay, great. And so I'm really hoping that this just works this time. So we'll do Terraform, apply, auto approve. So there must be something we don't know about how we developed our module and it's not supporting other regions. Again, this is kind of out of the scope of the course here, because we're just getting into very detailed stuff. But, you know, if we can just kind of get this working here. So error launching source instance invalid security group SG subnet belongs to a different server. Okay, so I'm going to see what is going on here. So we have this state file here, and it's set for that. I don't think it created a server. Let me go see. Go to North Virginia here, see if we have any servers. No, and we'll go over to Ohio here. Okay, so I absolutely do not trust the state files in here anymore. So what I'm going to do is open them in File Explorer here. For this one here, I'm just going to delete them out. And I'm going to delete this out, and I'm going to just clear out whatever I can clear out. It probably won't let us delete everything, like the modules. That's fine. And so I'm going to just try this again. Terraform init. Who knew this would be so hard? Terraform apply. Auto approve. And so what I'm hoping is it just takes it. I'm going to just also check our Terraform vars, make sure everything's fine here, because we don't say anything in there. So it should just take it. Double P here. And so the problem is there's a duplicate key. So this is under, it's in talking about key pairs here. So we'll go here and we'll just go ahead and delete that. We'll also do that in US East. I think it's more of a problem in US East than anywhere else. We'll delete that as well. And we will go ahead and hit enter there. I'm really surprised it didn't generate like a unique name each time. I thought it would do that, eh? And I guess the security group still exists, so we'll go here and delete that out as well. So I think it's just this one here. Delete. Is the key pair back now? Do we have to delete that? No? Okay. And we'll try this again. Maybe what it was doing is it was picking up the old security group that was pointing to somewhere else. I don't know. But whatever issue we're having, it was pretty odd. And so it's complaining about the security group, but now we're doing everything in US East 1, so I don't know what its problem is. So if we go over to our security groups, wherever that is, it's under VPC. Security groups. So here it's 009 FE, all that kind of stuff there. And if we go to the original project here, 009 FE. So it is using the correct VPC, right? And this one here is fine. If we go over here to this one, this is in US East 1, so that's totally fine as well. So there must be something that's not being set for it. So it must be using like the default VPC. I think it really has to do with our original module here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to specify our original source there. And so this one's going to be, what was it? Just type in child module, Terraform here, source, local. Just doing this off screen here. Yeah, you would just do a period or something. The other one had like a double slash or something, I can't remember. So this is in our, this is up one directory and it's up another directory and it's in our modules here. 1110 modules, Terraform, AWS, Apache, example. Okay, and so this will just allow us to modify this and kind of like fix whatever issue we're having with this. Terraform init. Let's see if it can find it there. There wouldn't be any version constraint on here, so that's right. We'll just take that off. And so I think what's happening is our resource is trying to launch in the default security group. So we'll open up our main TF here. And so this should be using that, right? And that should be using that. And we don't set like a VPC here. We just set the VPC security group IDs. So I'm just going to scroll up here for a second. Or this is on WC2, right? Or WSL2. And so this would be Terraform init. Terraform auto approve. Okay, so if this is the problem, what we'll do is go look up AWS instance. This is insane. Because maybe we're not specifying the security group correctly, but I'm pretty sure we are. So we'll just say VPC. This is the optional EC2 Classic default VPC only. So that's the old way of doing it. A list of security groups IDs to associate it with. Subnet ID. Do we set the subnet ID here? We don't. Aha! So that's our problem. So we can go subnet ID here. And that's what we want to set. So the VPC subnet ID to launch in. I'm not sure how we're going to grab the subnet here. So we'll go over to AWS VPC. Sometimes it's just easier to type it up here, AWS VPC. And I'm looking for a subnet. AWS VPC get first subnet, Terraform. I guess that would be one way of doing it. So we could just, I suppose, select him that way. So we're going to say data dot, oh, we're in the wrong one. We're in the example, aren't we? Oh, no, that's right. Okay. So then we would just want to go up to the VPC up here. So data AWS VPC main. VPC ID equals data dot VPC dot main dot ID. And these are subnet IDs. I assume what this is going to return back is like an array. So I'm just going to take a guess here and do AWS subnet IDs and just choose 0 here. And we'll see if that fixes our problem. Terraform init, because we might have changed our module there. And there's a command, Terraform get. This, I think, would be the perfect case because we're just updating the module. We're not updating the provider. So that'd be the time that we would use that. So now I'm going to try this again and see if this works. A reference to data source must be followed by at least one attribute accessible there. The problem is I don't know what this is, right? So that's not really helping me out here, what this in particular would be. So AWS subnet. IDs, a set of attributes found by the IDs found. This data source will fail if none are found. So if that's the case, then what we're going to be doing is doing .IDs and then maybe 0 like that. Okay. AWS subnet IDs has not been declared. Oh, okay. So maybe we do subnet IDs. Is that going to work for us now? I don't know why this looks all messed up. Oh, it's just maybe the indentation here. That doesn't look right. Yeah, this is super messed up. Hold on here. Apparently I lost some of the block. Okay, so we said subnet IDs.IDs. A data source VPC main has not been declared. It's right there. What are they talking about? So what I'll do is I'll just cut this here, or like cut it. Paste this below here. Data VPC main ID. I don't know if we can do like a depends on this. Probably not. Apparently we can do it. I'm seeing an example where they're doing a depends on. So what I could do is say depends on, and then I would just specify data.aws vpc.main, and we'll see if that helps it out there. We can do Terraform init again. and try that. And if it doesn't like that, maybe we can go into the directory itself and see if that will fix it. 110. And we'll just do Terraform init here, maybe. I don't remember ever having to do an init with inside of it, so I don't think that's the case. Oh, you know what? It's just a mistake, and you might have caught that. VPC. But the depends on is probably a good idea. Data.vpc.main. We'll try this again. Must be a whole object. Okay, well, we'll take the depends on out then, and we will try this again, because it should be able to infer the order into which it works. A data source, AWS VPC. VPC has not been declared in this stupid module. This is so stupid. Data.aws.vpc.vpc. Oh, because it's not called VPC, it's just called main. Okay. My fault. And so here it says elements of a set are identified by only their value and does not have separate indexes or keys with it. It's only possible to perform operations across all elements in a set. So let's just look up set. So set Terraform. I just want to get like the first element in a set. First element in a set. Terraform. 1. 1 takes a list, a set of tuple with either 0 or 1 elements. If the collection is empty, 1, it returns null. Otherwise, 1 returns the first element. So what we can do here is if it's doing an ID, I suppose what we could do is go down to our subnet ID here, and we can say 1. And we will try that. Apparently it doesn't take an index. Invalid value for list parameter must be a list set or tuple with either values either 0 or 1 elements. Is a set of string with 6 elements. So I don't know what this thing is. Like, I don't know how you would go and say, all right, just show me what this value is. What I could try to do here, I'm just trying to think here. How could I see this value without having to provision the resource? And that's what I don't know. It's very, very frustrating. I'll be back in a second, okay? All right, so this is what I found, and what we have to do is actually convert, because this is actually a set, and we need to convert it to a list. At least this is what I think. So what I'm going to do is take this out of here, and we'll wrap it as such, and then we'll give it 0, and maybe that's our problem here. Please be the answer. Okay, so I think it's creating now. So yeah, that's kind of like, and we're not in that section into the built-in functions, but this is just where sometimes the data set returned is a set, or those are really frustrating to use, and so I guess you just have to cast it into another type. That one function I think should have worked with it, but it just decided not to for whatever reason. But if this provisions, then we're all done here, and we're all in good shape. So yeah, that is all good. So what we can do is now just tear this down because that worked, no problem. We'll say apply, auto approve. Okay. And while that is destroying, what I'm going to do, I guess I already have the third one open here. I'm going to just update the code here, git status, git add, here, git commit, oops, fix my module. So should use the subnet specified for the VPC from the VPC. Okay, and we will do a git push. We'll do a git tag 1.1.0. We'll do a git push tags. And so now from now on, we'll just use the version 1.1.0. So that's destroyed. We'll go back to our original one here. We'll do a Terraform apply, auto approve, destroy. I just want to show you as it's destroying that if we want to do remote, it's pretty much the same thing. We're just setting it in the back end as remote, and we're providing that configuration values there. I'm just going to stick around here just to make sure that this does destroy, just because for some reason it just might not. So this was project 1. Oh, we're in project 2 in both of these folders. Okay, that doesn't help that much. But we're going to wait until this is destroyed. And then once that's destroyed, we will tear down the VPC, okay? All right, so we'll just make sure we go into the other project here, project 1, and we'll do the same thing. Tear that down. So yeah, I realize this follow along is a bit of a mess. I could go back and reshoot it so that it's a lot more streamlined, but then I feel like we will miss all of these kind of little things. And without getting that kind of experience, you're not going to know how to debug that stuff on your own. So I feel that I'm just going to keep this follow along as is. Hopefully you find value out of it, but it will be a frustrating experience. And you'll know this because you'll get to the end of this, okay?